Good morning team, how you doing? Gavin here, and it is Saturday morning again, and we're walking to the gym again. And I must admit, I'm kind of a fair weather walker, and I'm not quite sure I'm going to manage this in the winter because there's definitely not going to be wanting to walk in the rain. But anyway, that's another story. So today's video, what is it? Okay, so I keep having a very similar conversation with lots of people around calories and carbs essentially, and it's really sad that nobody really understands it. And nobody really understands it is because no one really explains it, and people who create new diets and stuff, they basically don't tell you the whole truth, okay? And they will push their agenda essentially to sell you a supplement or a particular way of eating. And to be honest with you, it's really annoying because human beings in general love shiny objects, they love new things. It's very hard to talk about the boring, what weight loss really is. Boring as shit, right? Because it's not that complicated, okay? So when we look at it, it is calories in, calories out. People argue that it isn't, but it really is. And if you, I've done this before, but if you look to people who are starving in third world countries, they're skinny, nobody's obese. And if people were, if it wasn't to do with calories in, calories out, you'd have people in third world countries obese despite eating or eating anything. But we know that that's not the case. On the other side, if somebody's extremely obese, like not just overweight, I mean super obese, we all know that they're eating too much and not moving around enough. And that's a result of that. Every single kind of government or anything will say that, if you exercise and eat less or eat less calories, you're going to lose weight. But people still don't believe it, okay? So I know it to be true because I've done it myself, guys. It's like I've kept my weight off for over 14 years because I live and do this stuff myself every day. I got an idea of how many calories I eat and I stick to those calories. So what I want to say to you today really is that if you're overweight right now, okay, and it's because you're in debt, okay? Not in money debt, but in fat debt. So if you've got a big stomach or a big bum or legs, it's because, and you're overweight right now, it's because you've eaten too much for your current activity level, okay? So I'm not saying you're gluttonous, I'm just saying that you're eating too much for your level of exercise. Now, a lot of you will say as well, but it's my hormones. Possibly, yeah, that could definitely be a contributing factor. Or your medication, get all that for sure. But if you're not exercising and you're not eating healthy, and even if you think you're eating healthy, I'm saying you're eating healthy, calorie dense foods like nuts and chocolates and biscuits and stuff, right? Well, they're not healthy, but you know what I mean. And drinking alcohol and things like that, right? Excessively to your current activity levels. Therefore, if you don't burn those calories off, your body will store it as body fat, because any excess energy from an evolutionary standpoint goes into excess body fat. That's what happens. Diabetes is a result of having too much body fat, and and your body not able to deal with the excess sugar in your blood. That's what it is, right? Because it's a lifestyle related issue. So we know that, you know that as well. So it means you're in debt, you're eating too much, not moving enough, therefore thing, right? So I want to address the metabolism thing. If you have a severe thyroid issue, because that's a common one, your metabolism is depressed by about 300 calories a day. Okay, it's quite a lot, right? Over time it adds up. So that's 2,000 calories a week essentially that you're no longer able to burn. But do you think if you drank a little bit less, or ate a little bit less, or went for a walk for an hour every single day, that you could compensate for that decrease in metabolism? Yes, you could. Because if you just went for an hour walk per day, you might burn 400 calories off. Therefore, you've just compensated for that 300 decline in metabolism. Then, if you had one less glass of wine per day, or one less milky coffee per day, you could reduce those calories further by 200. So therefore, you are now in a 300 per day calorie deficit. That is all you need to be able to lose weight. That's it, 300 calories, okay? How do I know that? Because I do it all the time, I know, right? So if you then are worried about the individual macronutrient groups, too many carbs, too much fat, too much sugar, all that stuff, don't worry about it. Just worry about the total overall calories for the day. Sure, you can get cute with it, get fancy with it, and you can track all that stuff later on. But let's just do the basics. Let's just do get the stuff to get the big wins from, which is really understanding how many calories you eat. How do you do that? Millions of food trackers out there. Get a food diary, read the food labels, add them up. That's all you need to do, okay? But remember that you've actually got to account for everything that you eat. And I'm saying everything. So even that little slab of butter that you don't think has many calories in has about 80 calories in it. A little chocolate that you're swiping from the table has about 30 to 50 calories in it. That glug of milk that you put in your teas and coffees has about 30 to 40 calories in it. That little handful of nuts that you just grab, as you're making dinner or in the kitchen, is 200 calories. So you can see that this stuff adds up. But the thing of it is, just because you didn't acknowledge it and just because you didn't track it doesn't mean your body doesn't do a fantastic job of doing it. So people get super frustrated when they go, well, I'm tracking my calories but I'm not losing weight. But you're not tracking all of them. And I know you're not tracking all of them because I say to people, well, like, what percentage of meals and stuff are you tracking? About 60%. Okay, so there's 40% of the time you're not doing it. That 40% is responsible for the dozens of hundreds of extra calories per day that you're not eating, okay? It just is. So that's kind of it really for me today about my video. It is always calories, and you've got to kind of like just track it a little bit. And if you don't believe me, okay, I don't mind, it's fine. It does bother me because I don't want people to be unhealthy, but ultimately I know it to be true. So all you need to do is give yourself an experiment for 2 weeks, just 2 weeks of your time. Track every morsel of food that you put into your body, and see what it is. Track those numbers, and then whatever it is, reduce it by a little bit. So that's really my video. Have a good day. Good luck with the experiment. If you're going to give it a crack, let me know. Put a comment. I'm going to do this. If not, I'll see you in the next video. See ya.